Hello traders, this is Alex with the cotlive.com website. I'm going to give you a little view of my master chart Excel spreadsheet that I put together, and I do have it for sale, and we'll go over that here at the end. But this is the spreadsheet. We're going to go over an example like Apple. Again, I don't trade Apple, but I thought a lot of people do, so I'd put that in here, and we'll go over it together. What you do is just simply plug in data points here. Now again, the center cell again is designed for the pricing, right? You put a number in there. Normally it's 0 or 1, right? These will be the even squares. These will be the odd squares. So again, if you put 0 in there, which most people have on their master chart sheet that they have. Anyway, you can see when you do that, these are the even squares. These are the odd squares. So again, it makes sense then, logically, that whatever number you put in there, you can also have even and odd squares based on that reference. So now, this thing has a lot of stuff, right? This also does time, just like you would with, again, Gann used to say for every 1 day equals 1 cent, or for every 1 cent equals 1 day. And these should be the even squares, these should be the odd squares, right? This program also does it down, so, and the dates aren't as important as the prices on this one. Now again, I'm not a price trader, I'm a time trader, but it's kind of nice to do that when you're, especially if you're at like a 7 or 10-year low on a specific commodity or stock, right? You can kind of go back and see if it's in sync with the master chart. And again, this does the same thing, even squares, odd squares, but in reverse, right? Now, there's also a program in here that it doubles it. So I had Colgate in here, I don't know why, but anyway, it'll double whatever number you put in the middle. So in this example, you could put 22, because that was the opening price of Apple on December 12th, 1980 at 22 bucks. And you can obviously see that it doubles, right? It doubles on the revolution. And these are the even squares, these are the odd squares, right? So, and these are the other degrees based on that. So anyway, I won't go into that right now, but there's all kinds of features on here. Of course, it also doubles the time. But anyway, we're going to go over just the simple basic master chart program. And whatever data you plug in here, this was the recent high. I already have plugged in the data points that I want. Again, I took the opening, the birth, if you want to call it that. I took the all-time low. I took the 10-year low. I took the all-time high, which is also the 10-year high. And then the recent lows and highs. Now, when you do the recent highs and lows, again, like this last one, this August 17th high right here, right? Well, the master chart is designed for more longer term stuff. So I go in and, since it's a spreadsheet, right, I go in and manipulate it. Otherwise you have, a few days or less than a few days apart between these degrees, 45, 90, 120, 135, and so on. So if you do, now again, let me go back. If you're starting a new, you reset everything, and that's what these are. I kind of put it off the side so you accidentally don't do it. Now I'm not going to do that because I've saved this data to speed up this video, but you can save the data, and it saves it to the research folder, which is right here. Now again, I'm going to delete this because I don't want this in there. I've already got it off to the side there. Whoops. And what I also do, now it spits out all the data, right? I go through and edit these, and again, I'm taking out I'm just keeping the 90s, 180s, 270s, and 360s on any of these recent ones because the data is too much. And you can see I've edited them all. Now, once you get out, like this is the low, the 10-year low, right? And I edited it also to 2026 because that is a large number of data points that it'll process. It speeds it up, and you really don't need them, right? Um, so I've already plugged all this data in. Um, to speed up everything. I don't want to go through that. And once you complete it, you click this, and this is a copy. Basically, it saves it to a research folder marked number 2 or 3 or whatever. So then that's saved, right? So if you accidentally delete something, and again, you can manipulate this, right? You can add it, put them all in a row, easier printing, whatever. All right, so once you have that data, the next step is this research folder, the advanced sort. I'm going to go ahead and reset the advanced sort, and then we'll rerun it here. And then it begin, and it takes some time. I'm going to put you on pause here while it goes through and sorts through all the data. Okay, it's done. It took about 45 seconds to go through those data points and sort them. And then while you're in this advanced sort, then you click sort by years. Now again, you can input whatever you want. Right now it's November 13th, 2022. Right, I like to have a few years to go back and check. This is kind of the end point. All these are important. I would put the first of each of the years that you want. Right, so like January 1. So you click sort, and it puts them all in to these 3 years of search. And you can see there's quite a few data points. And I'm going to go and put you on pause while I put these onto the chart, and we'll take a look see how it looks on the chart. See, again, my whole point here is to get accumulation of these dates. I don't really care about pricing too much. I'm not a price guy, but I'm more of a date and a date accumulation guy, right? And you can see there's some dates that'll be accumulated. Normally what I do, if there's one on a Sunday, if there's other data points, I'll either go to Friday or Monday. So I'll show you once we get it on the chart. Hang with me. Okay, I'm back. I went through and plugged all those dates, just kind of marked the chart with an X, and we'll go through them quickly here to see kind of how they are. And we'll just kind of go through them one by one. And again, several points, right? When you have voids, right, where there's no resistance or support, right, of time, then obviously the markets can move, right? And again, what I'm interested in is those accumulation points. Here's one with a gap, right? So that's interesting to me. That probably tells me this low's in for a little bit. A swing low, right? As we go through it. Now we took that out, right? That's also key. We took this accumulation out, so that makes it weak. And a void day, couple 3, 4, and then we have a big accumulation. Now again, you knew that ahead of time, so you were that was one of the bigger ones. Again, you knew that ahead of time, so you're kind of watching for this as a bottom, potential bear trap. You know, you can draw your trend line, whatever look at your moving averages, whatever kind of flavor you trade. But this gets you in a mode to think potential low. We have four, I believe four accumulations down here. And again, the bear trap is kind of trips my trigger to look, maybe buy calls, right, if the trend is down, that kind of thing. And as we go through here, now we had a accumulation here after the swing low. You might have, if you're a trader, right, you might have taken that. You wouldn't have went opposite for sure if you think the trend is up. So, you know, you definitely would be maybe taking profits there on this double accumulation. Now we had a double here, another double, so you got 4 in 2 days. Pretty important, possible secondary low. Here's the other, I guess, a head and shoulders kind of bottom. And now you got 2 accumulations. You got a third one. Now I drew that up there. You didn't know that was there yet. A void, and it's squirrely, right? There's no resistance, no support, no timing. Now you had 3 coming in here. It's an outside down day. Now you knew that ahead of time, right? So you were kind of expecting some weirdness, and it did occur outside down day. Now you knew that was coming. So if it made new highs, you're suspect a little bit because you knew you had some accumulation coming in, and sure enough, it caused a weirdness. Now that might be a buy, right? You don't know until it takes out this high, and it did. Now you got a couple accumulation days here coming. You know, the trend is definitely up. Took out the long-term swing. Head and shoulder kind of bottoms intact. A void. We got 2 coming in here. And then we had a gap after this, right? That's pretty important. Similar to here. I'm going through these one by one quickly. Now we have several accumulations. We got 5 in 3 market days, and that's resistance or support, right? I mean, that's it. That there's something there to cause a reaction. Now, again, we knew we had a big one coming up. This is a 5er. Oops. We had 5 of them coming in. And you're thinking, this has been a pretty big one, created with the low with 4 of them. So again, if you bought calls or went long because of that, and you followed the trend up. Now again, trend lines get pushed tight once you know that there's a big one coming in. Oh, dang. Sorry. That screwed it all up. But you knew that was coming in, right? And it was a high. And we had another double one here. A weird, tough day. But again, it tried to fill the gap, but it couldn't. I don't believe. 171.31 low. High of 171.05. So it couldn't fill the gap and cover that close. Technically, that's a little negative. And again, you're still coming from this accumulation down here to this accumulation up here. Now we got another one here. Again, we knew that ahead of time. So again, potential low. You don't know that's a high yet. If it takes this little area out, then it's probably a high on a bear market decline. And it did. Now, if you ever take this accumulation out here, it'll be pretty important. This is September 9th, and it did gap, and it did take that out. So you got to be weary. But again, there was no timing, right? It was void of any timing, any zones. So a stop getter there. It continued down. We had a couple in here. Couple in here. Again, we got kind of a double bottom. You know, this is your pivot, right? Draw your downtrend lines if you want, or, you know, over the highs, that kind of thing if you're kind of bully and you want to buy it. They ran those stops out but closed higher, but or they closed good, but not higher. So again, a little suspect here with another double. The trend is definitely still down, still in a bear market. It gapped lower, closing lower. Now we had 3 coming in here, and you knew there was 3 coming in, right? So ahead of time, and you got this low here, you know, you don't want to just guess, right? But when that day came in, you know, Gann used to use a 2-day trend line indicator, which would have been right here, right? This is an inside day, I believe. So, you know, buy stops over this area. We had an outside day up the next day. It did gap lower and closed higher. So maybe a completion of a bear leg. Again, accumulation up here. A big, fairly decent accumulation here. Another accumulation here, right? So again, you knew that ahead of time. Right? You knew that tomorrow was going to be a big day. And it was. It gapped down, which was a bad sign. Closed lower is a bad sign. So now if you ever take this area out, right, that's pretty good resistance, or pretty good resistance at the moment. If it takes it out, then this low or whatever becomes support. Now we had some timing. It did act like it was, you know, broke the uptrend line, ran the stops, but it did take this area out. Now again, this low becomes important, right? The day after the big accumulation, this still could be a part of a high. Ooh, and it did. It gapped lower, took out this low. We're in November now. Today's November 13th, Sunday. So November 11th will be the last day on this chart. And that's right here. So this is the last day that I have. And if you look back, if you look back, we have nothing until we have one on the 15th, one on the 16th, Saturday, Sunday. So again, if it, you know, there's a kind of a double one here, 2 on Friday, 1 on Monday, 1 on the 5th. No big accumulations coming up. So, but anyway, that's kind of how I trade it. And again, you can go back in when you, let's just plug in this other date. I'm going to start from the when it went public, 12/12/1980. Call it the open 22. Okay, so again, these are the prices. These are the squares. Now that's getting old enough where it goes beyond. And if you ever get if you ever have a time point that goes way back in history, and this isn't long enough, which it should be, but again, these are the revolutions here, right? How many times around it goes. You can always copy and paste and add it to the below number. But I want to go back and just take, again, I haven't done this yet, so I want to take these days and take a look on the chart. 1983, 2022, November 16th. Let me write this down. Hang with me. I'm going to go back and take a look at this data. All right, I'm going to look at these dates. The 360, the 45, the 90, the 120, the 135, and the 180 doesn't come in until January. So let me pull up the chart here, a fresh one. And let's just go back and see. Again, you can do this for each one of them because, again, maybe these points of reference suck. Right? Maybe this public offering, December 12th, 1980, December 12th, maybe that's not important to the market, right? So, and of course, I'm kind of doing this backwards. You should do this first, but I haven't done this before, so I want to kind of see what these dates, the November 16th, that's coming up. Let's go October 26th. That was this day right here. I'll mark it with this master chart symbol that I have. September 15th. July 15th. And May 14th is the 360 degrees. That was kind of a weekend deal. So those are the points, right, of just one of those data points, right? And that's from the beginning trade. And again, I don't know if that's even real, right? Google's sometimes a liar. So again, you got to do your homework. And again, the Apple chart. I'm pulling up a weekly here. I mean, you can see these lows aren't real pricing because, again, all the splits that it's had. But you can see that it just doesn't have very many breaks. This is actually the first significant break, and maybe this one here, where you've taken out some swings, but you haven't taken out the major swings. Now, if you ever take out this swing, something's up, right? Because it has never done that. Maybe this one back here, back in 2008. Of course, that was the bear market, dropped 50%. Again, I'm getting out in the weeds here a little bit from what I'm trying to tell you. But again, I don't look at Apple, so I'm kind of doing this for the first time too. Yeah, Apple dropped 60% back in 08. And here's 60% here. Let me go back here and copy and paste this one over. Whoops. To get a time and price reference. Sorry, I'm kind of messing with this online as I'm trying to do a video. But that'd be January 27th, 2023, so not that far away. January 27th. So there would be an equal percentage time and price. Interesting. Yeah, January 27th. So you can see that this, again, technically, Apple does not need to, if it breaks this, something's going on. It'd be similar to the 08 break. The end result could be pretty ugly. So you got to be awfully cautious. These three tops, I like sets of threes. Three bottoms, three tops. Anyway, but that's the spreadsheet, the master chart. Again, it does a lot of other things. but this is kind of what I use. And you can see looking through, I mean, I have, IBM. Again, I copy everything and save it into the folder, right? So I don't have to go back and redo everything. I've got, corn, I've got beans, I got wheat, I got a lot of ones that I personally use, nat gas. So gold, Cintas, some of my ones that I've looked at. And I have those dates and I know them, I print them out. I put them on the chart when I'm actively trading it. And again, I don't do this every time. I mainly do it if I think we're near a low. I kind of look at it to make sure it makes sense. And anyway, that is the Master Chart program. If you'd like to purchase that, I think it still works through PayPal. This is kind of the website. Again, COT Live, WD Gann. You can kind of copy, print it, pause it, print it, whatever you got to do. And I just go through some of the stuff. But this is the program. And I also have a Square 9 one that I use a lot. And I sell that as well. Anyway, you can go through and look at that. This is Alex signing off. Have a great trading rest of the year. Bye.